Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't get at least a short video of the Magruder plots. These plots, they're not mine, but I've been a part of them, or been able to be a part of them, since about 2003, and it's been a big part of my educational process. Plots were established in 1892 by A.C. Magruder, and they were actually moved from their original location to this point back in the 40s, and I'll put a link to more information. One of the oldest long-term continuous plots in the world, oldest continuous cultivated wheat west of the Mississippi River. We're looking at it now, and it's just a fun study. If we go through here, it's non-replicated because, back then they didn't have statistics the way they do now. But we look at it now, and we have some amazing things that we can look at. So this first plot right here, this is the manure plot. It gets enough nitrogen with beef feedlot manure every 4 years for about a 40 bushel yield goal. You can see it's looking a little peaked. It's got a little bit of yellow in it, a little nitrogen deficiency. Well, honestly, it's going to get fertilized this fall. That means you're on year 4. It's been cutting 50, 60 bushel wheat for the last 3 years. So you know what? You're out of nitrogen on that cycle. We've learned a lot about beef feedlot manure cycling from this because we have so many rotations to look at, so many turns to see how is it impacting the crop. We can also look at it as an organic nutrient and see how that impacts the grain, how it impacts the grain, and how it impacts the yield. Right here we have the unfertilized check. This unfertilized check, it's amazing. If you think about it, you've got wheat, you're going to have heads. You've never had a drop of nitrogen on this pass, ever. Never a drop of phosphorus, never a drop of potassium, still cutting 16, 18 bushel. Ton of research on this plot alone, the unfertilized check plot. Again, never fertilized since the ground was broken out of the prairie. There's cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. There's things in here that make it turn and burn and do great, amazing data. Over here we have the phosphorus treatment and nitrogen by phosphorus. So phosphorus only because when they moved it and picked the treatments, phosphorus is extremely critical then. Even more so some of the others. Right here is nitrogen by phosphorus. You see a great crop. It's getting 60 pounds of nitrogen, 30 pounds of phosphorus every year, going for that crop yield. Right here we have nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. In both these plots, we tend to see a significant decrease in soil pH because of the long-term use of nitrogen on here. And while this year the crop and everything inside of it's looking really good, we see an amazing impact of Italian ryegrass. These plots probably have a pH about 4.8. I'd have to double check, but low pH. And we have a weed in central Oklahoma, Italian ryegrass. It can really compete in these low pHs. But we get over here to the plots to get lime. So this is NPK plus lime. These plots right here don't have the same weed problems. Why? The crop can compete better against that weed. It looks like this year though, the crew's come out here and done a great job. Tyler Carpenter with Dr. Ron's group, they're the ones that manage this. Finally maybe getting some impact and some control on this Italian ryegrass. Normally their control is walking through and hand roguing every single plant to keep the impact down as much as possible. Over here, just briefly, this is fun. So this area has been no-till since I was a grad student and just recently converted to a crop rotation study. So we called this East Magruder. East Magruder hadn't been fertilized in 50, 60, or 70 years, so it was a check. And so we're looking basically at the unfertilized check and now coming back from it, right? We've been cropping it forever, coming back from it. So we're implementing the exact same treatments, just flipping it into a no-till crop rotation. And so we've had 2 years of wheat. We're going to cut this. They're going to cut this wheat and go back into it. And so I do believe the next crop is either going to be sorghum or canola. So it's a wheat, wheat, sorghum, and canola rotation out here. And they want to see, after going from an unfertilized check, what does the rebuilding look like over time?